everybody, and welcome to the newest indoor adventure in Tomb of Annihilation, Part 14. Today is July 19th, 2020, and you are loved. And that is a very important thing that we like to remind each and every single one of our viewers and listeners at the beginning of each and every single one of our games. If this is your first time joining us, you can go and check out all of the VODs at youtube.com/indooradventures, or go towards anywhere audio casts are made available for free. You will find us there under the same moniker. And speaking of things that are being currently made available for free, if you go to patreon.com/indooradventures, you can find our after show called Nights in the Courtyard, where we answer questions not only from the community but also from each other. And until August 7th, there is a pinned post where you can find yourself becoming an NPC or having a township village named after yourself for our Monday and Thursday night games, which both take place in the homebrew country of Alira, the setting that we have been in of my design for the last several years now. And if you already support us on Patreon, Twitch, YouTube, all of those places, but you're thinking to yourself, man, oh man, how can I continue to support this wonderful show? Consider going to indooradventure.redbubble.com. No S at the end of that indoor adventure. We got t-shirts, we got posters, we got mugs, throw pillows. Now we even have masks in the 5 glorious colors of Tiamat, as it is her blessing upon your face that will give you, some poison resistance when you're wandering the IRL world. It's scary out there, but hey, with Tiamat on your side, maybe things will help. And all of the proceeds that we get from face masks end up going towards COVID-19 research, so it's going for a good cause. We just wanted cool designs for people. That was what led us there. And speaking of people that are going to lead us to glorious places unknown, hey RJ, who you playing tonight? The layout looks a tad different.
Well, for the first half, I'll be playing Hassan, and on the second half, I'll be playing Walmorn, a barbarian fighter shifter.
All right. And Wings, who you playing?
Oh shoot. Hi everybody, I'm Wings. I'm going to be playing as Baz, the drow rogue fighter.
And I am the indoor adventurer, and tonight I shall be playing as Teshvael de Falaran, Mark of Shadow Paladin. And GB, who you gonna be playing?
Greybeard 7, and tonight I'll be playing Nazrat, Friend of the Jungle.
Hi everybody, and I'm Tyler. I'll be the DM today. So let's start with the recap. Last time, Hassan's hardened heroes discovered the grisly remains of an adventurer and an interesting, albeit cursed, sword. This resulted in a fight with the sword's original owner and a berserk Teshvael, a spectacle that was watched by Baz's troublesome sister. Now, having sent her packing, they prepare for the final leg in the journey to Omu, where they may finally find the Soulmonger. What will they find in the Forbidden City? Find out on the Indoor Adventurer Presents The Tomb of Annihilation. So we're going to kind of fast play where we were last time. You had arrived at Kirsabel with the Black Orchid, the key ingredient for the Dance of the Seven Winds, a ritual in which the teacher of the Kirsabel Monastery will essentially give you her wings. She says that the effects of the ritual only last for 3 days, and very conveniently, Omu is a 3-day flight from here. So to maximize your guys' travel time, she suggests that you do the ritual the following morning, giving you guys time to rest again, because Teshvael had a hard time getting a long rest the other night. However, you also met back up with Racket, who, with some ingenuity from Prince Na, has regained his ability to fly. His wing has been patched up, essentially, and he was practically begging you guys to let him come along. And after some deliberation, you have decided to let him tag along with you, not only because he wants to, but because it may be valuable having him come along, since Azaka, your guide, may not be as familiar with getting to Omu from the air. And he swears that he'll be able to help you guys along the way. And at some point, RinRin goes up to Ashara, the teacher, and it's like, "Hello, my name is RinRin. I love my friends, and I like Racket. Racket's so useful. We want him to come with." And Ashara's like, "Yes, I know who you are. You've told me several times. I don't know why you always have to say your name when you're talking to people. But he shouldn't go with you because he's just a kid." And she's like, "No, he's great. He's strong. He's very powerful. We want him to come with." And after a lot of uh, convincing, Ashara finally yields. So as you guys spend the night, Hassan wanted to have an instance where he gave Racket his bag of holding. What exactly did you say, RJ? Why are you doing that?
Now that you're on the team, you're going to have to be carrying your weight. Hands in the bag.
Shrugs. But now Racket will be holding on to the bag of holding, which has, I believe, the folding boat and the alchemical jug.
Yep. And a portable hole.
And not a portable hole, thankfully. The next morning, early in the morning, the sun is just peeking behind the monastery. The valley in front of the monastery is aglow in the beautiful colors of the sunrise. It is a beautiful, clear day, and Ashara performs the ritual of the seven winds, the dance of the seven winds. This occurs by her crushing up the black orchid, deeply inhaling its fumes, while several other Aarakocra dance ritualistically around her. And this is occurring in their actual monastery area. Is a tall building with a wide open balcony, and the spiral maze symbol of Upteo on the floor. And as she dances, her wings, or as they dance around her, her wings begin to fade ethereally, and each of you slowly gain wings. So go ahead and describe what your character's wings look like.
Oh boy, I'm excited for this one. Tesh's they are like dragon wings made of pure darkness. It's he worships the umbral progenitor god of Eberron. So like to him, yeah, no, like these are glorious. They are the same kind of dark black that his tuxedo is, or at least like his not a tuxedo, but his fine suit. And he is like fully flexing them out, wrapping them, actually like turns them into like a half cloak when he isn't using them to just make himself look all the more fashionable.
It's fashionable and spooky.
Oh, yes.
Hassan?
Hassan has feathery white wings that taper into black tips. And he's just looking at them, kind of like one extends, the other extends, and he flexes them around him.
Baz has wings that are almost moth-like, where they're kind of fuzzy and they have some sort of pattern to them. And like when he shifts them, they look kind of iridescent. However, like, you know, you might think moth, but if anybody's familiar with peacock spiders, they have that disc that they flip up, and it's like kind of got like that iridescent scale thing going on, but like fuzzy around the edges. And when he folds them, it's just like this dark black-brown kind of color, and they just lay flat across his back, sort of like a beetle or like a swallow.
RinRin's wings are also black feathers, but with hints of orange interspersed amongst them. And she eagerly takes flight as soon as she's able to get them. And Azaka's wings are that of much like Ashara's. Actually, they're pretty brown brown feathers, but there are stripes in them, black stripes.
Hassan's gonna just turn to Azaka. Are you going to be okay?
She sighs and says, I heard flying is different.
It's all about control.
It's all about control.
Hassan will take off.
So eagerly, you guys take flights. You are cleared for takeoff. And the first day of flying is glorious. You guys take some time getting used to the feeling of flying. Azaka is pretty hesitant to like just jump out the balcony and take flight, but after seeing all of you do it, she kind of does it and lets herself glide for a little bit before finally beginning to fly. And the first day is beautiful, clear weather, and it is quite enjoyable. And Racket and Azaka are able to direct you towards Omu. I'm assuming you guys find somewhere in the jungle a nice, dry, quiet patch to bed down for the night, and then take flight early the next morning. While you guys are flying, there you are surrounded constantly by beautiful, multicolored birds. You see pterodactyls and quetzalcoatls flying around, keeping their distance. It is quite a interesting experience. On the second day, there's kind of that same weather that you guys have been seeing this entire time. It's kind of clear in the morning, but as the afternoon rolls around, clouds roll in, and you actually have a fantastic time kind of cloud surfing, going in and out amongst the clouds. At some point, Baz nearly flies directly into a cliff face because he didn't see that one coming, and Racket quickly flies in and keeps him from plowing head first into a cliff face.
Sorry, sun got in the eyes.
The sun got in the eyes. And you guys bed down again for the night. And the third day, when you guys wake up in the morning, it is very cloudy. In fact, so cloudy that you guys aren't able to kind of penetrate through the clouds to get above them. You have to stay close to the treetops and find it harder going as the wind begins to pick up. And it begins to get more and more stormy and harder not to be flying in the clouds. Luckily, you have Racket with you, who has been familiar with the way that you guys are supposed to go, but it starts to get more difficult as rain begins to pelt down on you, and the small droplets sting your faces until late in the day, as you guys are flying through a break in the clouds, you see it. You see the Lost City of Omu. The jungle parts to reveal a dead city enclosed by sheer cliffs. Ruined buildings and stone boulevards rise like ghosts from the floor of the misty basin. A waterfall pours into the basin, creating a swollen river that floods much of the city before draining into a deep rift filled with molten lava. And a ruined palace lies only a few hundred feet from the edge of this steaming abyss. And as quickly as you see it, it's gone again. As the wind picks up more and more, you're finding it harder and harder to stay amongst each other. And as the storm worsens, as the rain pelts down on you guys and lightning begins flashing about, you find yourself separated, hurtling towards the ground as you're unable to stay aloft. Racket, Baz, and Tesh, you fall to the south side of the city. And we'll get back to you in a second, where Azaka, Hassan, and RinRin crash amongst the river. The force of you guys crashing knocks RinRin out, and Azaka is badly wounded as well. And as you are picking yourself up amongst this torrential downpour, several figures approach you from the river. They are Wanti, and one with the top half of a human woman and the bottom half of a snake slithers up to you and says to Hassan, "I've been waiting for you. I've seen you in visions. And I know you are here for us, to help us. Come with me.
What about them?
They should be of no concern. Azaka standing protectively over RinRin's body, sword drawn.
Yeah. Hassan will walk over to Azaka and cast a Cure Wounds into her
Mm-hmm.
with a pat on the shoulder. This is where we part ways, Azaka.
You're just going to leave us?
Better than fighting it out in some godforsaken jungle and dying.
And what do I tell her?
Tell her I died.
I hope we don't meet again.
Knowing how history unfolds, I doubt that'll be likely. Wait, reverse it. Reverse it. Knowing how history unfolds, it's probably likely.
Okay. And Hassan, you walk off arm in arm with the Wanti.
Not quite arm in arm.
Not quite arm in arm. Meanwhile, Wally, it has been a tough, tough journey. You managed to book passage on an airship that was trying to map the jungle, because you were trying to find Omu. But the weather was not conducive to airships flying around Schultz. And about 2 weeks ago, even, your airship was caught in what must have been a hurricane or typhoon, lost control and crashed into the jungle. A lot of the crew didn't make it, and those that did were quickly devoured by multiple types of zombies, gorilla zombies, cannibals. They all fell prey to the dangers of Schultz, or those that you knew that survived the crash. Luckily, soon after the crash, you were able to, you made a friend. So both GB and RJ, go ahead and describe your characters.
Go ahead, GB.
So I imagine it was something like, or Grillions, or what did you say? Some kind of zombie something?
Yeah, gorillon zombies. They're these giant four-armed gorillas, but they're zombies.
Okay, something like that was coming after Wally, and you heard a roar come from the jungle itself, and this massive ape, silverback ape, comes walking forward. He seems to have a backpack or something on, and you hear in your head, "Do not fear, my friend. I, Nazrat, friend of the jungle, shall protect you." And then a little blonde halfling, teeny little ghostwise halfling, stands up on the shoulders of the gorilla with a spear, and he leaps through the air. And you realize that he wasn't talking before, he was talking in your head. And as he leaps through the air with the spear, he goes, "Ah!" and swing stabs into one of the zombie gorillas, kicks it, bounces off, flings around, and we duke it out with the zombie gorillas.
What in Sam Hill? Wally is a shifter based off of a bunny. So he does have these long, loppy ears that are tied back. Brown hair with a fringe covering some of his face, but he brushes it away sometimes. He's wearing this sort of cowboy-esque outfit, kind of modified for the jungle. He's taken off the spurs from his boots because they lost his horse in the crash.
It's been a tough time, but because you did actually catch sight of Omu before you crashed, and you've got an innate sense of direction, the two of you have been able to travel through the jungle for the past week or so. And as this torrential storm kind of pops up out of nowhere, you have found yourselves at the gatehouse of Omu. There's a small structure that's got made out of limestone. There are like arrow slits cut into the limestone, and a dilapidated iron portcullis has collapsed in the field beyond. And as you huddle into the guardhouse, you notice a significant amount of graffiti written in common in this guardhouse. And as you are starting to look over this graffiti, there is a crash, a thud. The roof above you collapses, and three creatures fall amongst you.
Tarnation, Mr. Nazareth, are you okay?
And in your head, you hear, "I'm fine. What about them? Friend or foe?"
I will need Baz and Tesh to go ahead and make dexterity saving throws.
That falls and dies.
That is an 11.
I have a question. Am I within 10 feet of Teshvael?
Yes.
Do we get bonuses to saving throws yet?
+2.
Only 2?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Says the one with 26 HP. Take what you can get.
I will
Exactly.
take as much as I can get. Simple math. A dirty 20 with Tesh's help. And he sticks the landing, fellas!
And takes half his health.
You take half as much damage as Tesh.
Oh god.
With 11 to Tesh, 5 to Baz. As you guys come crashing down to the ground.
It's a quarter of your health. A fifth of your health. I'd take half as much. 11 to Tesh, 5 to Baz.
And 5 to Racket. I should probably track Racket's health because he's not an invincible NPC.
There's a
Doesn't have
fierce
plot armor.
Why you gotta say
thud,
it like
thud,
that?
thud. And then Summerwise just like drifts lazily down.
Yep.
It's skid, thuppa thuppa, skid, roll roll, catches himself, and then runs into the bushes.
Hey, y'all okay?
I've been better. And Tesh stands up and like dusts his pants off, and as he does,
Oh, Wally will help you up.
yeah, he'll say thank you, and as he does, he puts a hand on his chest to do a bow, and will use lay on hands on himself. Get that shit back.
Racket's
13 for
probably
stealth.
like caught up in the rafters themselves and has to like untangle himself from some vines and drops down next to you guys.
My name is Teshvael de Falarin, and these are my companions. We've come a long way. Are we in Omu? Did we make it?
I'm pretty sure, Mr. Nazareth, are we in Omu?
And I can only talk to one person in their head. So I guess out loud, this on the back of this big silverback gorilla is this little blonde halfling. And he says, "This should be the gatehouse of Omu."
Nazareth, you do have limited knowledge of Omu. You've been this far, but you've never wanted to venture too far into the city. You've seen some crazy stuff here.
The jungle is my home.
Yeah.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Teshvael. I'm Walmorn Longfellow. My friends call me Wally. This is Mr. Nazareth. He kind of picked me up out of the jungle.
My pleasure to meet the both of you. That one is Racket, and Racket's translator, who I think scampered away from around here, is Baz. They're a little skittish at first, but if you just open up to them, they're actually quite cordial.
I mean, seeing the acrobatics act that just happened, skittish is a mighty peculiar definition for someone.
It's a survival trait.
Baz will step out of the bushes, pulling branches out of his hair.
Racket actually helps pull you out of the bushes, dusts himself off, and make sure that you're all in one piece. And we'll say, nice to meet you to the both of you.
I'm fine, Racket. Full disclosure, that one, he's gonna point at Tesh, he's got a cursed sword. Just don't be near him if anybody's gonna, hit him.
Well, now let's just lay all our cards out on the table.
About that.
It's like, that was quick.
Another thing that you may want to know is that we did not come here alone. There were 3 others that were with us. Yuan Ti, a Tabaxi, and then I think Azaka's human?
Did you see a falling lizard cow?
No,
Land
can't say that I've ever seen a falling lizard cow before.
Nope. Not in my time here in the jungle.
Well, if you stick around with us, you very well might see one. Baz, are you all right?
Fine. Baz says, giving Tesh a cold look.
Wow. Tesh is like looking at Baz like, how is this my fault?
He's not blaming you.
I know, but like based off of their conversation before, where like Baz is very much like, I don't trust you. You're a bad person and stab your friends. Like, oh, come the fuck on. Like, you can't be mad at me about this. And if Baz will let Tesh, I'll give you some lay on hands.
I'd appreciate that.
I'm fine too.
Yeah, it's just boop, like 5 and 5.
Yay.
And it's about that time that the gorilla himself sighs. By the way, I'm Bigglesworth, says the gorilla.
Holy shit, he can talk!
Holy shit, he could talk!
Fascinating.
I'm sorry, I always forget to introduce you, Bigglesworth.
And he like lumps his head on top of Bigglesworth's head.
Mr. Nazareth, it's been a week and you haven't said anything about Mr. Bigglesworth.
I'm sorry. Bad manners.
And Bigglesworth goes, I'm used to it, good sir. I'm used to it.
Reminds me of my brother Doug.
Wally just leans over to Baz.
Your brother's a gorilla?
Close enough.
It is pretty late in the day, just about sunset. It is pouring outside. A thunderstorm is raging. And what would you guys like to do? You are at the gatehouse of Omu. There is a significant amount of graffiti in here, all written in common.
What does it say?
There is a lot that it says. In like big red letters, either blood or something else. It says, "Fear the fangs of Rosnasi." Otherwise, there are like little notes. Eric, I've gone in search of the 9 shrines. V. Amongst the writing, there's something that says, "The puzzle cubes are the key."
For a good time, send for Shelly.
Yeah. Here's my sending address. There's in like really shaky writing or like kind of scratched into the wall, "Beware the frog monster."
That's concerning.
Amongst kind of like there seems to be a few notes kind of like trying to it's like someone's notes trying to figure out a riddle. There's something that says, "Who is Unk?" Unk spelled UNKH. There's something that says, there's like a list. It's Kubazan. Here, let me just put this one in the chat so you guys can read the names. But Kubazan equals bravery. Shigambi equals wisdom. And Moa equals question mark. And I see Wings has shared the map of Omu. You guys can definitely reference that. And in fact, if you want to see a more high-res version, you can join the Roll20. There is, in big letters, kind of on a different wall from the Fear the Fangs of Rasasi, in big letters on another wall, it says, "All hail the King of Feathers." And lastly, there's a little note that says, "The snakes are not what they seem." And Baz, I think it's you that sees this note. And as you're looking at this note, it's right next to another arrow slit that looks out on the cliffside. And there's a small trail that leads up the cliffside to like a tiny cave. And perched at the top of this trail are 5 snakes. And they are large snakes, not large classed creatures, but they are not tiny little snakes.
He's gonna nudge the rabbit person next to him and say, "Are those snakes really tiny, or is that just the false perspective?"
And they are looking at you.
Those are some really big snakes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. I was afraid of that.
On Walmart's hands go to his belt, and you see that there are 2 pistols strapped to his right hip, a bullwhip strapped to his left hip, and what looks like a tomahawk with a feather charm on it on his back. And he'll go
Tesh,
for one of the pistols and one of the whips.
we got snakes.
Wonderful. Maybe they know where Hassan is.
Well, let us
And
find out.
having seen that you noticed them, they begin to slither away.
That doesn't bode well.
How many of them were there?
5.
5 snakes.
Were they different colored?
It's
Or is it too dark to tell at this point?
too dark to tell. Your dark vision doesn't allow you to see colors.
I don't think I have dark vision. I have dark
superior
vision.
dark
Shifters have
vision.
dark vision. In fact, there's somebody that the halflings don't get dark vision, right?
No.
Neither
Yeah.
do gorillas.
Neither do gorillas. So your bumbling friend here is going to have a little bit.
Mr. Nazar, I think it's best if we camp down for the 9 sleeping shifts.
Sounds good.
And Wally will probably take like the tent, like the tent tarp, and start like trying to adjust it over the ceiling where they crashed through.
Yeah. Racket goes digging inside the bag of holding and finds Hassan's tent, and flies up and tries to help like patch up a hole in the ceiling. So you guys can go ahead and bed down here for the night. And I'm pretty sure during your guys's the night you kind of share stories of each of yours individual journey through the jungle.
Saw a giant gator take down Tessie. That wasn't great.
Saw a bunch of lizard chickens take down a gator person.
And I watched a bunch of snake people cut down my friends. But now I'm here. I've met so many new people. It's truly a remarkable tale.
I can talk to the animals.
And the animals can talk back. That is, we have a friend who does that. Perhaps the 2 of you would get along.
Okay.
Depends. How do you feel about snake people?
Have I run into Yanti?
You've most definitely run into Wanti, and they've never been very cordial.
They tend to not be very friendly.
No, he's not like other Yonti.
he, he gives you that little halfling growl, like.
Heard that one before.
Mm-hmm.
That
Mr. Teshvael, do you partake?
In what? Gambling? Snake
He'll
people?
rustle in a cylindrical portmanteau and pull out a small flask. Papa makes some pretty good moonshine.
I would love to, but
Racket raises his hand.
I'm afraid it would do me no good.
Be careful, Mr. Racket's a bit on the strong side.
I can handle my drink, he says, and takes a small sip and like does a spit take, essentially just.
no.
Have
His
you
feathers,
ever?
like floof?
I'm sure Nazar would have had some
So
Papa's moonshine.
if you have tried to give it to him, it probably got about here to his nose, and he was like,
How do you drink that? Let me purify it.
and he would have at some point tried to purify your poison that you have. Would you have stopped him?
This water is
Yeah.
tainted.
Yeah,
prob-
there's something wrong with this
Your
water.
water's been
You've-
poisoned.
You killed the fermentation process. It's just water now.
Why would you do that?
Let's say you snatched it away last second.
On the off chance, I have a question for the both of you. You wouldn't happen to speak the language of the land, would you?
No, sorry, sir. I'm all the way out from the mainland, mostly around Long Saddle.
I see.
Racket's like, oh, Long Saddle. That's where my parents are from.
Oh, no kidding.
And of course, this is being translated through
Yeah.
Baz. It's like, yeah, they're morticians up there.
That's adorable.
Oh,
my God. He's an undertaker.
Well, he's not. His brother's going to inherit the family business.
Well, if I ever make my way back down there, I'll say you said hi.
Thank you.
And I guess in your head, it's Teshvael.
Yeah.
Okay. In your head, you would hear, I speak the language of the spirits of the forest.
Mr.
Sylvan.
Bigglesworth?
He speaks Sylvan. and Bigglesworth, did you say Mr. Bigglesworth?
No, like he tries
in
to
your head?
think it back, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because you don't sound anything like open
Right.
words. He's never heard
Right.
your brain's thoughts before.
Right, okay, and okay, you think that back, and you hear, why, no, of course not. It is I, Nazrat.
Oh, really? Huh. And like Tesh is like visibly just, huh. Well, I didn't expect you to sound like this. I'm not going to lie to you. It
What do you
comes off
mean?
differently. You know what? It's fine.
This is how I always sound.
That is correct. But you wouldn't happen to know anyone who possibly speaks Olman, do you?
And yeah, that, I guess that would just be a confused look on his face. And he would just say out loud,
What's Oman?
Tesh just like kind of shrugs and says, "Don't worry about it. If you don't know, it's fine."
Mr. Baz, would you care for a drink?
Baz just wordlessly takes it, gives it a sniff, a little sip.
It's juniper moonshine.
Interesting taste.
You guys are able to spend a long rest here. The next morning, the storm blows over, but it still is kind of hot and cloudy and very muggy now. You guys are at the guardhouse, which is slightly elevated over the entrance to the city. And as you go into the courtyard where this dilapidated iron podcast has fallen over, you can get a better view of the city, especially from the ground. It is absolutely choked with vegetation, and you can see a lot of old, broken down buildings. There appears to be a kind of main thoroughfare that about 400 yards away that like leads up and down the city. And then on the west side of this thoroughfare, there is a walled compound. It seems like the courtyard, you can kind of see over the wall from this vantage point. The courtyard is less full of vegetation, but what you do see is a pillar of smoke rising out of that compound.
That ain't good.
I was just thinking that it might be our friends.
Now, does it look like a building fire or like someone's cooking fire?
It does not look like a cooking fire. It
Okay.
looks like a bonfire.
Okay. Is there any kind of smell on the wind from it?
Make a perception check.
All right. Uh, 13.
13. You take a big whiff of the air. Wind's kind of not blowing anywhere. It's pretty calm out, and it smells like burnt flesh.
It smells like the burning bodies.
Funeral pyre.
Well, whatever it is, we should be careful in our proceedings.
Well, I'm always careful.
You see Wally scamper off into the underbrush.
And there he goes.
Pass without trace.
Cool. You guys want to stealth it up?
Yeah.
All right. I'll need stealth rolls from all of you. And if you are all stealthing, you're going to move at a slightly slower pace. And at a slightly slower pace, you are still having to pick through a lot of vegetation.
Teshvael, what does your pass without trace look like?
So his pass without trace is it's semi-cloudy out still, right?
Yeah.
So what it looks like is that he like just pulls down the side of his shirt so that way his dragon mark is there, and you see him close his eyes and he whispers something in Draconic. And there is just this like rippling effect that seems to pulse out of him, and it reaches the edges of the casting radius, and everyone that is inside kind of gains these like fuzzier edges to them, sort of like how like cats and other animals that like rely on shadows don't exactly have a very thick line. And it's like there is a natural camouflage that seems to take over as like an outer layer onto the person, where it's like very dim lighting, almost like there are just shadows that are passing over them, almost like cloud cover is just sort of rolling off of people.
And Nazrat will say,
Huh. I usually just ask the jungle to cover us up. That's a good trick. I have that magic too if we need it.
No, it is no trick. It is Kyber's blessing. And as Teshvael talks about how wonderful Kyber is, he gets a nat 1 because he has disadvantage on stealth with his chain shirt, and then I got a 1 on my Way of Shadow dice. So even with a plus 10, I got a 12.
Wow. Fantastic.
Well done.
Baz.
Kyber is amazing.
I would I would laugh at you, but without your pass without a trace, I got an 11. So it's a 21, but I got a 2 on the die.
Wally?
31.
Hell yeah. Nazareth?
14. I got a 1 on the 1. I'm trying to run away from the shadowy creepiness that's getting coming across me.
Wally's in a tree watching these guys bumble and just places his hands down there and just goes, y'all.
Y'all.
Well, like, I mean, Baz did comparatively bad, but like still pretty good
Yeah.
in the long run.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he's like he's at the base of the tree going like, y'all, and then he turns around and trips and like makes a loud cracking noise.
Racket got a dirty 20, and he's shadowing after Baz. So you guys going to that walled compound?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
all right. I think Wally's taking the lead here, and although it takes you about like moving stealthily with pass without a trace, woof, that one was hard to get out. And trying to get through all these this vegetation, it takes you about a half hour to pick your way through the undergrowth. Even when you get up onto that thoroughfare, it's not particularly easy moving. So after about a half hour, you arrive at the courtyard of this, how you say, compound. Where did it go? And smoke drifts lazily from the compound. The gate lies in splinters and scorch marks deface the buildings. Near the center of the compound is a plaza littered with charred human corpses. One of the corpses is being torn apart by a pack of wild dogs. And the source of this bonfire is at the center of the courtyard. There's a glaive thrust into the remains of a burned out pyre. Charred snake skulls and blackened inhuman vertebrae are lashed to the spear. And right beyond this pyre, on one of the bigger walls of the compound, is a symbol dabbed in ash. It is a snake curled in a spiral, gripping a circle on its jaws.
Have I seen this symbol before?
Roll a religion check.
That's a modified 20.
You have, and you would recognize it as the symbol of Dendar the Night Serpent, devouring the world.
Huh.
Wally appears next to Tesh. Was it?
Ma! Have you ever seen anything like this before, Wallace?
Wally's fine, sir.
Have you ever seen anything like this before, Wally?
Ooh, no, I don't think so.
That is Dendar. That is the Serpent of Nightmare. That's everything. Now, as you would put it, I believe this is a load of hogwash, but I don't think Kyber would let anything like this happen under his jurisdiction. A rebellious child, this Dendar is nonetheless, but a child all the same.
Well, remind me not to tread on her then.
I think it would be best for everyone.
So the giant snake is a baby, but it can eat everything.
Not an actual baby, just a child to the one that I pay my fealty to. We are all Kyber's children in one way or another.
Kyber's my daddy?
Yeah.
My mom's name is Marigold.
Baz.
We don't see anybody in this clearing, do we?
There
Just
are
weapons
bodies around, but go ahead and make a perception check. You are going to be in bright light.
Am I in daylight?
You are in daylight.
Oh, it's not terrible. One of them was a nat 20, but of course I'm taking the lower one, so I get a 22.
Oh, hell yeah. There are a lot of bodies strewn about. In fact, they look like the bodies of mercenaries, but there is no weaponry amongst their bodies. It might have been stripped clean. On
Do I recognize the livery of these mercenaries?
Not the mercenaries, but there are two bodies that you spy in that are different from the rest, and I'm going to need you to make a history check.
It's Hassan and RinRin.
I got a 9.
Okay. They are wearing red robes. But as you're surveying this area with a sniper's eye, you see there is a wall fallen over on one side. Looks like it was hit by probably a fireball or something. And there is an arm sticking out, but it's like scratching at the rubble.
He's gonna nudge Tesh in the ribs, and say, "There's two of them that are different there. The red robes over there, but right over there." And he's gonna kind of like direct Tesh's eye, like physically, like take his hand and like move him towards where he's pointing under that rubble. I think we've got a survivor.
Well, channel divinity.
Channel divinity. Oh, are you what?
Seeing if it like the hand that's moving is like zombie hand.
Oh, do you mean divine sense?
Yeah,
Divine
sense. What did I say?
Channel
Channel
divinity.
Channel divinity. Yeah, no, divine sense.
What's the distance on that?
I believe. Yeah.
30, 60 feet?
No, it's just 30.
This is like on the
Or
other
no,
side
it is
of
60.
the compound.
Sweet.
60 feet.
I'll say that it's just out of range.
I'll get a little bit closer until I'm within 60 feet of these individuals and then try again.
You do not detect any fey, undead, or whatever.
All right. Yeah, I'll go over to where they are.
Is there someone out there?
Oh my god.
It's Sean Connery.
Please help.
Just a moment. I'll be with you shortly.
Gonna hang back my sniper rifle and cover Tesh.
Okay.
Yeah, Tesh will just start moving away rocks. Help him.
As you begin moving the rocks away, a human man is buried beneath this rubble. He appears to be in his late 40s, has a chin-strap white beard, and is bald. And he looks in pretty rough shape, pummeled by this fallen debris. It's like, oh, thank God! I thought I was the only one left. Wait a second. You're not with the wizards.
No.
Oh,
we are
It doesn't matter. Any hope at this point?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
I'm Professor Acronis. Orvix to my friends.
Professor.
Orvix is Orvex.
Bigglesworth and Nazrat help move the rocks.
You see Wally just pick up almost like a car-sized rock and move it to the left a little bit.
Big strong boy, strong.
Strong boy, big boy, bunny.
You guys, so the three of you are kind of around Orvix. Baz, where are you at?
He's gonna hang back, like, definitely like within sniper rifle distance, but he's going to stay hidden and keep an eye on them, watch their six.
Okay. So like at the gate to this courtyard, it's about like 100 feet across, about 100 feet by 100 feet. This courtyard.
Mm-hmm. Like, is there a wall here?
The whole compound is walled. The walls are kind of crumply, made of limestone, that have a lot of vegetation growing over them. But you guys entered through a what was previously a gate.
I'd be able to climb up on top of the wall.
Yeah, in fact, this compound has a lot of buildings in it that you could probably even climb up on top of one of those to have a better vantage.
Cool. I'll do that.
And I think Racket actually flies up, makes sure it's sturdy up there, and gives you a hand up. You guys are both still sneaking. And as you get into position, watching everyone moving the rocks away from this guy that's been buried, you see those 5 snakes again, and they are slithering in formation at the gate. And in a blink of an eye, they turn into 5 Wanti.
Snakes are not what they seem.
One of them is a Wanti with the upper body of a bronze, muscular human, but the lower body of a snake. 2 of them, similarly, just big, ripped dudes, but with heads of snakes. And 2 more of them, big, ripped dudes with arms that are snakes. And the one with the body of a snake lifts up a jeweled longbow and takes aim at your friends.
I'm gonna shoot him.
Okay. Then that will be resolved in combat as we roll initiative.
What?
Before we get into combat, do we want to take our break here?
Yes, please.
Alrighty, so like we just said, we are going to be taking our break, getting into some combat after. We're going to try and be back in 5 to 10 minutes, so don't go no place unless it is to grab a food, grab a drink, grab a friend, or possibly go to indooradventure.redbubble.com, pick yourself up something nice, and we'll see you guys shortly. Alright, everybody. See you soon! And we're back! Hello, everybody! It's time to get down to business to defeat these fucking snakes.
Snakes. There are so many snakes. Before we list off initiative, Baz, you saw these guys walk in. They changed back into their Wanti forms, and the one with the bow raised it, ready to strike out at your friends. And you raised your gun, confident in your hidden position, when his head snaps and just locks eyes with you, as he somehow knew exactly where you are. So everyone go ahead and give me your initiative.
Modified 10.
All right.
16.
Okay.
Baz is unsettled. His initiative is a 6.
Mm-hmm. Nazrat.
19 and 8 is 27.
My God.
Is that right?
That's right. You have the alert feat.
Yep.
Nazrat will almost always go first.
I've got my eye on that one for the next one.
Rackets. Let's see. 12. Wally, you have like a speed of dexterity of 20, don't you?
Yes, sir.
And Tesh, what is your dexterity? It's like
Tesh's
16?
dexterity is 17.
17, which I think you win. Well, that's fine. So at the top of the round, Nazrat, I don't know if you actually, I think you kind of get a sense, because you're alert, you get a sense that something's up. You look back and see it's about 100 feet away.
Okay.
These Sneeple entering the courtyard. And Orvix following your eyes. It's like, my God, they're back again. And picks up a rock and puts it on top of himself.
I guess I will. Okay, so can I ride Bigglesworth his movement, well, our movement, and then change him back into an object as an interact, and put the object in my pouch.
Okay.
So he's safe. And then as a bonus action, wild shape.
Okay. Fantastic. What is his movement?
His movement, and I've got all these. Yay. His movement is... Oh, it's only 30. Well, that's 5 feet faster than me. And it looked cool, so let's go with that.
You're using his movement. You're using a bonus action to wild shape. Interact will be a free action, so you have an action as well. So you could use that to dash if you wanted to.
Let me see. Yeah, what the hell? I will do that because I turn into an Allosaurus.
Hell yes.
So this halfling is on this ape. They sort of do this thing where the ape turns into a little statue. He grabs it as he rolls up, tucks it in his little pouch, and then goes and turns into an Allosaurus and charges 60 feet towards them. So I'm only 10 feet away from them when my turn ends, and I'm like, oh, big Allosaurus jaws.
It's like freaking Beast Boy and Teen Titans. They like roll and turns into this giant thing.
Exactly.
You moved 60 feet. They were 100 feet away from you.
Yeah, and the gorilla moved 30.
Okay.
So 90 feet, they're 110 feet away.
Beautiful. So you just get right up on them as an Allosaurus.
Yep.
Fantastic. They are 10 feet away from you. The lead one hisses at the others and points at what is now an Allosaurus. But he was already in the process of taking a shot at Baz. For a 10 versus your AC.
Hello, my name is Baz. That doesn't hit me.
Okay, what about the second attack?
My tea's
For
ready.
a 9.
No.
Yeah, he quickly thwip, but you duck down behind the bit of the building that you were on top of, and he hisses.
Baz like ducks behind the building, and he goes, "He saw me. How did he see me?"
Bracket like ducks down next to you. It's like, I thought you were really well hidden. Wally.
Oh, there he goes again. He is gonna, as he runs, pulls out his pistol and bullwhip and uses his bonus action to shift.
Okay.
And you see white fur sprout along his face and ears to more accompany the bunny persona.
Which hand does he hold the pistol in, and which hand does he hold the whip in?
Left hand whip, right hand pistol.
Okay.
He's left-handed. How far? 100 feet, right?
100 feet away.
If I double move, I can get within 80. So I'll do that.
Oh, you have 40 feet of movement shifted?
Yeah.
Sweet. So you move 80 feet and are 10 feet behind an Allosaurus.
Using him as cover.
And everyone's outside of 60 feet of Tesh. That's convenient. Anyway, these things, unperturbed by seeing somebody turn into an Allosaurus, 2 of them are going to come right at it. These are type 1. So they have the snake heads, and they are going to start hacking away at this guy. Actually, one of them is going to stay back with one of them. One's going to come up, one's going to stay back. The one that stays back has a longbow, and he is going to fire twice at you, at the Allosaurus. For a 15 and a 18.
Both hit.
Both hits.
It's a big target.
Big target, big strong Allosaurus. You take 7 piercing damage, and actually no, you take more than that if they both hit. 12 piercing damage and 12 poison damage as these arrows sink into your hard, leathery flesh. Poison starts to course through your veins. The other one, though, runs right up to you with his scimitar. He's going to try and slash at you and rear back his big snake head and try and bite.
Okay.
For a natural 1 on the scimitar. Good job, buddy.
Yeah.
And a 15 on the bite.
Both hit.
Well, then that one doesn't hit.
Well, I'm sorry. The 15 hits. Yes, please. Oh my
I'd
god.
be
Trying
surprised.
to die.
For 7 piercing damage and another 6 poison damage.
Okay, so 13 more.
Tesh. Several of these Wanti have just run up at your buddy who just quickly shifted into an Allosaurus. What would you like to do?
Tesh is fucking like flabbergasted by the tenacity of these two newcomers. He's having a great time. He like at first he just does the thing that he normally does of Summerwise fly away. Like, get out of here.
He circles above.
Yeah, make sure you're away like 60 feet away from me.
Oh.
And he's just like looking at this Allosaurus just getting peppered with arrows. He sees Wally like going ham. He's shifted now like a weird, even bigger rabbit man. Baz is out doing Baz things. Like he'll be fine, I'm sure. I just bonus action, shield faith, casually jog. Like,
Today's a fun day.
yeah, just move a little bit forward. Or actually, no, he won't even shield of faith. Because if he runs 60 feet, then they're within 60 feet, right?
Yes.
Spiritual weapon in the back of the group.
Okay. So you get 60 feet up. You are 20 feet behind Wally. And you put spiritual weapon. What would that be? Like 40 feet away?
It's up to 60 feet.
Okay. So right behind them.
Okay.
What is your spiritual weapon and what does it do?
My spiritual weapon, as Tesh gets to the end of his run, you just see him kind of curl his hand forward into more of like a grasping motion, and when he does, his shadow shoots from beneath him and moves about 60 feet away or wherever these enemies are. And it is just his shadow rising into a standing position. It's featureless. There's nothing really to like denote this as Tesh's like exact shadow. But it's definitely him. Like if you know him, like his standing mannerisms, it's him. And they are going to rear back with a rapier and stab out towards the one that shot something that wasn't facing near my friends directly. So I'm assuming that they were trying to shoot Baz.
Okay.
And then that's a natural 20 with the spiritual weapon. So that's 2d8. For 11 plus 2, 13 points of force damage.
13 force damage. They don't have any. Yep, it's good.
When the spiritual weapon actually attacks, it's Tesh's like outline, but you see twin points of glowing green eyes and a really quick, sharp, pointy smile. And you just see a large claw rear back and just strike out. It's a dragon's claw that he summons, but it's just in the shape of himself.
Nice. Awesome. I like it. That is what you do. one of the snake-armed boys is going to try and circumvent the Allosaurus and go for Wally, who is about less than 30 feet away, so he can get up to you. And he's got snakes for hands, and those snake for hands
on you. When a target lands within 5 feet of me, I get to move away as a reaction without provoking attacks of opportunity. So I'm gonna dance around him and away.
Okay, where are you dancing to?
When he stops, he's going to move to his left away from the Allosaurus and then move 5 feet so he's out of range. But he can still see the dude who's sniping.
So just kind of moving to the other side of the Allosaurus.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, this guy's not going to like that you got away from him. You were only 20 feet away, so he's going to boot scoot up next to the Allosaurus and snake hands him instead. Yes. Allosaurus, you are taking 2 bites for a 19 to hit on both. That is 8 piercing damage and 15 poison damage on the Allosaurus. Soaking up that damage pretty well over there, bud? GB? Oh, you okay? Cool, you're good to go. Sorry, I
Yeah, still in the form.
What a good boy. Racket, seeing all this go down, but being mostly a healer, is going to cast Toll the Dead on the guy that just shot at Baz. Toll the Dead is a wisdom saving throw?
Wisdom saving throw.
And he is not hurt yet. Oh, he is hurt yet. So good job, Racket. He rolls a... That does not save.
D12.
D12. Nice. Good job, Racket. That is an action, and he doesn't have any good bonus actions. Baz.
Does this mean that there is one person who hasn't gone yet besides me?
There is one entire snake-armed boy who is looking up at your perch, and it looks like he's ready to come at you.
My God, arms too. I'm coming for you. I have. What is this doing with that with your hands? My
See, it's
God.
got snake hands. Why do they have snake arms?
Beware snake arms, Jimmy. He's coming for you. I have a question. Am I in direct sunlight?
Oh yeah, you are.
Well, shit. Okay.
Can I argue if he's up in a tree canopy though? Oh no, he's
He's
in
on
by
the
a
roof.
building.
I'm on a roof.
On a roof.
I'm on a roof. Okay. I'm gonna attack. I can't do it at advantage. Is snake arms 2 next to somebody?
Not any of your friends, no.
It's a natural 20.
Oh, okay.
I guess it doesn't matter. I mean, it's an assassination attack anyway, so it doesn't really.
It just doesn't matter.
It just doesn't matter. Thank you for not mattering. Thank you for not mattering. All right. Well, here comes some damage.
You know what? Racket can start giving you the help action to give you advantage.
That could be cool. First of all, I'm using my rifle. So
Racket's wings are above Baz's head to make shade.
Oh, no. Bless.
Oh no.
That's so sweet. 9 piercing damage.
Nice.
And then 14 sneak attack damage.
Are you using your rifle or your bow?
Rifle.
All right. Good.
That's where all this damage is coming from. So, are like these roofs probably don't have like peaks to them at all.
No, they're
like,
all flat roofs.
They're all flat. So I'm going to kind of like I'm pow, and I'm gonna like nudge Racket with my elbow and say, stay safe, and I'm gonna run across a roof, and then like hop down and slide onto a like one of those canopies that sticks out, and I'm gonna try and hide there.
Okay. Yeah, cool. Go ahead and roll your stealth.
Natural 1,
Oh boy.
but it's a 10.
It's a 10. That does not beat their passive, I don't think. Let me
I
double
didn't
check.
think so. It's fine.
It just doesn't pass their passive. If you had rolled a 2, you would have been fine.
Great. That's my turn.
Fantastic. Snake Hands McGee sees you run off, and actually sees where you go. How far do you go? Baz.
Me?
Yeah.
Like I imagined it was kind of like a perpendicular movement. I wasn't moving any further or closer.
Okay. He was already intent he wanted to go towards you. You started about 30 feet away, so if you were just moved in a perpendicular fashion, he can move up to you, but he is below you.
Yeah. Has he got swords?
He's got snake arms.
He's just gonna. Oh shit! I'm gonna run up and start like on the underside of that canopy.
Yeah.
While Baz dances around.
In fact, I think because he can't reach you, he's going to like take out. He's going to attack the supports holding that canopy. So let's see if he hits them and if you fall.
Okay.
He does. So he sees you up above him, like sticks out his snake arms to either side of the canopy supports and just like pulls them in, and you just collapse in front of him.
Has he got a snake head as well, or is it just a normal head?
It's a normal man head.
Which is comforting until you see the snake arms again.
Until you see the snake arms. He snarls at you, or hisses rather. Nazrat, there you are. You got 2 boys up against you.
Okay.
And 10 feet away are some more guys.
Yeah, I'm hurting. I chomp down on one of them.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And in this form, I am +6 to hit. 27, dirty 27.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay, and
is this against snake arms or snake head?
They both have poison damage, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Yes, they do. They both have poison damage.
I guess neither one of them that I know of has been hit yet, so I guess snake head.
Okay. Yeah, he's right in front of you anyway.
All right, and then that'll be a couple of these. Uno and dos. And +4, so 16 points of piercing damage.
Okay. Sorry, just how like this one reared back and like bit into your side and like reared back again, and then you just came down calm.
Yeah, it just and this form does not have a bonus action or a second attack or anything, so I guess I just stay right here.
You soak up the damage.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
Baz, you are prone in front of a guy, so the man with the fancy bow isn't going to target you, but he is going to target. I think he's going to turn his attention back onto the giant freaking Allosaurus in front of him. He gets multi-attack, but his bow does not have poison damage. For a 11 and a 21.
The 21 hits.
Cool. He does 10 piercing damage.
Okay. And all of a sudden, the Allosaurus was like, and chomped onto this guy, and all of a sudden, he turns into a halfling, kind of clung to the guy's head with his
Holding on top of it,
his
just
little,
like
his little halfling mouth on the guy's head. So, yeah.
Fantastic.
And
Wally.
then I took damage.
Oh, you did
I would
too.
like to rage.
Yay! Rage.
Uh,
Rage away, my friend.
Wally thumps his foot against the ground, and there is a low rumble. And from out of the ground, you see tens of bunny shifters, start clawing their way out, and some of them are holding long rifles, and others pitchforks and shovels.
Nice.
He's gonna spin his gun and shoot one of the guys next to Nazrat.
Snake arms or snake head?
Snake arms.
Okay.
I don't think he's taken damage yet.
He has not. Oh, wait, no, he
22
has.
to hit. Yeah.
22 to hit?
Yeah.
Yes, that hits. Sorry.
For 11 piercing damage. As there is a whoop and a holler, and all of these bunny shifters descend upon him.
Beautiful. Calling in the cavalry. You rage, you shoot. Anything else?
No, I'm gonna survey. Oh god.
Is there any other effect of your
So
bunny boys?
basically, the bunny boys will impose disadvantage to that guy if he hits anyone other than me, and they'll also gain resistance because they're interfering with the attack.
Nice. I like it. And as soon as he tries to move towards you, you're just gonna move away again.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it so much. It is these two guys' turn. One of them has a halfling on his head. The other has a bow with poisoned arrows. And I think he's not going to try and target Nazrat, but instead shoot at Wally. So Wally, here's 2 arrows coming at you.
Oh, oof, owie.
Ooh, owie, my bones. For a 9 and a 14.
Both miss.
Okay. Thwip, miss. This other guy is going to try and scimitar and bite back at Nazrat. Scimitar is a nat 20.
Oh no.
Oh,
That's
no.
bad.
That's real bad. For 11 slashing damage.
Okay.
And then he's going to try and bite you for a 19.
Hits.
And this one has the bite damage for 7 piercing, 8 poison.
Oof. Okay.
That's where I'm not trying to kill you. As he kind of like grabs you with like the one hand, the scimitar like slices across you and then takes a bite out of you as he drops you to the ground.
All right.
Tesh?
Tesh is like slightly disappointed. Like, oh, he turned back into a halfling already. Okay. Like, he doesn't understand. Like, he can get a general read on most people, but Nazrat is so far from what he has thought Nazrat has been every step of the way that now it's like, I don't even care anymore. Just let him go. Let's see where this ends up. And Tesh will cast Shield of Faith on himself. And is there a duder within 60 or within 30 feet of me?
They're 30 feet.
Yes.
There is one that snake arms that is looking at Wally.
Okay. Sounds good. So just want to check. I use my bonus action for Shield of Faith, so my shadow can't do anything. Yeah, I'll go over to the one that's standing above Baz, and I'm going to make some attacks with it.
Yeah, actually, yeah, the one that was over Baz is also within 30 feet.
Okay, yeah. I'll do that one. I know Baz. Like, I've known Nazrat for less than 24 hours.
Yeah.
I have some vested interests here. So, making an attack towards that guy. That dice, man. It's a bad time. So I got a nat 1. Is a nat 1 an automatic fail for attacking?
What's the bonus?
My bonus is a 6, but I can do Channel Divinity Guided Strike to give myself an additional +10, which would make it a 17 to hit.
I don't know, what does it say in the rules? Because I know for ability checks, it's not always an automatic failure.
I think by raw, it's an automatic.
I'm fine with that.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Like how a 20 is an automatic success, regardless of AC.
Yeah. So for attacks, I like doing automatic failure, automatic success, but for abilities, it's not the case.
Okay, that was a 19 on the die for a total of 25.
To hit for the second attack?
Yes.
Which does, obviously. Obviously.
And then that is for 9 points of piercing. Or wait, sorry, 10. 10 points of piercing.
Cool, that makes my math much easier.
And then I'm going to... Fuck it, I'll sink a Channel Divinity into this as well.
Cool.
Or a Smite. I keep saying
Smite.
Channel Divinity. Why?
You just want to channel so much divinity.
Channel it! So that is for an additional 13 points of radiant damage.
Damn. Owie. Oof. This guy's not looking so good as he stands over Baz menacingly.
Baz, if I get hit, just run.
This one is the one that Wally just shot, and he is going to... What he knows is to go after Wally, so he moves it. I think it's like about 15 feet to get to Wally.
He'll duck and dance underneath him towards where Nazrat is.
Okay. How far away do you get?
Up on Nazrat and the dude that he's fighting.
Okay. Cool. Then this guy will still have enough movement to move up to you. Which he does, and he wants to attack you, so he's going to take out his snake hands and try and bite you. Well, that's the first attack is a 11. Second attack is a nat 20.
Oof.
Oof, indeed, my friend. Oof, indeed. I never roll this well. 9 piercing damage and 15 how you say poison damage. You are raging though.
Yeah, so the piercing gets halved.
Yeah. Cool. He snake arms you. Racket sees his friend prone in danger. He's going to swoop down next to you from the rooftop and cast Spirit Guardians. He's going to raise a fist in the air, and kind of ghostly figures start crawling out of the ground, much like Wally's bunny burrows. And if the guy starts his turn, he's going to choose Tesh and Baz not to get hurt by this. If the guy starts his turn there, he has to make a wisdom saving throw and takes a ton of damage if he fails. And that's one of Racket's third level spell slots, and then I don't think he can do anything for a bonus action yet. So it's Baz's turn. You are prone, but you are surrounded by friends.
That's true. which is a lot better than I left off last turn. I'm going to hop to my feet. I'm going to kind of duck underneath this guy's snake arm, all the while getting out my short swords, and I'm going to attack him twicely.
Twicely. Action, bonus action, attack.
Yeah. I believe this is at disadvantage because still in sunlight.
Yeah. If the awning hadn't collapsed with you, then you'd be shielded. But
unfortunate.
And the attacks if your target is also in direct sunlight. So even if you're in shade, if your target's in direct sunlight, then you still have disadvantage.
Does an 11 hit?
I do not think so. No, it does not. Just misses.
Okay. I'm coming in for a second attack.
Yep.
Ooh, that's better. How about a 21?
21 hits.
And Tesh is next to him.
Yep.
So first of all, it's going to be 5 piercing damage.
Okay.
And then 10 sneak attack damage.
Nice.
So he distracts him with the first slash and then gets him in the ribs with the other one.
Nice.
And he'll pull that out and kind of sidle up next to Tesh and say, listen, so long as you're useful to me for now, we're going to be fine.
There's a little like marker in the bottom right that says newfound respect for Baz.
Tesh will remember this.
Tesh will remember
Tesh
this.
slightly approves.
Tesh, a heart and a +5. You don't know what it means.
Amazing. I think that's about it. That's all I can do.
Cool.
And turn.
Well, this guy starts his turn in the Spirit Guardians. He gets an 11 on his Wisdom saving throw. Good job, idiot. So he takes 3d8 damage, which completely eviscerates him. These spectral ghost hands start reaching up and grabbing and pulling him down and just ripping into his flesh. And he tries to like bite out with his snake arms, but they're just grasped and just ripped out of their sockets. This guy is dead. Nazareth.
All right. So if I'm still mind's eye seeing the battle correctly, the snakehead that I'm fighting is still there.
Yep, Snakehead is in front of you. On your back is Wally with another snake arm guy next to him.
Okay.
So you guys are kind of like fighting back to back.
So I had this all planned out, but I have to think. Yeah, let's do it. So Nasrat he'll go and a plesiosaur suddenly appears behind the snake guy that I'm fighting, and it turns its massive snaky head and chomps him.
Please,
or tries to.
How big is that thing?
Large.
It's large.
Okay.
Those are like those long-necked finny boys, right?
Yep.
Aren't they supposed to be in water?
They're supposed to be in water. But
It's magically.
but they have a big long snaky head, and they can breathe out of water.
Okay.
So
is this a creature that you are summoning?
yes, I'm using conjure animals.
Fantastic.
And it is the
CR2.
animal I conjure. Yep, exactly. I could have conjured another Allosaurus, but I thought that's just, that's my gig right
let's
now.
change it up. So this thing appears behind the snake boy, which actually puts it between Snakehead and then the other two guys that are standing behind, still at the entrance of the compound.
Right, and they can't see me now because there's a plesiosaur there.
You're in full cover behind this plesiosaur. And it rears its snake-like head and bites down.
Bites the snaky guy. Oh no, not in the bone circle. God damn it. I don't think it's gonna matter. 14 hit?
Yes, it does.
All right. Plesiosaur. 17 plus 4 is 21.
21 damage. All right.
And I don't believe a plesiosaur has any other extras. Let me go there real quick. I totally made a huge list of all the animals. So
That's amazing. I couldn't be happier.
Bite attack for nope, piercing damage, and it's only got the one attack. Okay, yep. Crunch.
All right, this creature is large, so it is adjacent to the other two guys, and they're not a huge fan of that. The one with the bow is actually, I think, going to. He's the kind of leader. He's smart enough not to just waste all of his attacks on the plesiosaur, so he's going to slither around with this guy and come for Nazrat. Never leaving melee with the plesiosaur.
Okay.
And he's going to make 2 attacks. The first attack, he's going to try and hit you with a... Let's see. Sorry, let me just make sure I'm... Yep. He's going to whip his tail around and try and wrap it around you.
Okay.
For a dirty 20 to hit.
Yep.
You take... Oof, that was max damage, or close enough. 15 bludgeoning damage, and you are grappled.
Okay, I am out.
He is unconscious. He grabs you. He used almost all of his movement to get to you, so he's just going to hold on to you. And does the plesiosaur just stay there?
I have to look.
It's a concentration, isn't it?
I don't know. Let me look at the spell.
Is this Conjure Fey or?
It's Conjure Animal.
Okay, the way that Conjure Fey works is that if you lose concentration, it doesn't disappear. You just lose control of it.
I think Conjure Animal, though, they disappear.
Should be considered. The summoned creatures are friendly. Issue GM.
It doesn't say.
Yeah, it does not say.
But it's concentration, though, right?
Yeah. If it disappears when it drops to 0 hit points, or when the spell ends.
Right. So if you go unconscious, the spell ends.
Yep.
All right. Well, this thing has the snake man has wrapped his tail around you.
Yep.
Knocked you out in its constricting grasp, and since your plesiosaur disappears, it's going to slither up to Wally and try and bite him. And you already used your thing to get away, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 11 to hit.
Misses.
Cool. He's right up onto you, and he's just holding on to Nazrat. It's your turn, Wally. You have snake arms right next to you. You got snake body and snake head.
Can I use my interact to stow the pistol and grab my tomahawk?
Yeah, absolutely.
And which is the one that got nommed on by the Allosaurus, or is he no longer with us?
He's still here. He's snake head.
I'm going to attack recklessly.
Okay.
With the tomahawk.
All right.
For a natural 20.
Fuck yes. Oh no. Roll it.
8 and 4 is 12 points of slashing damage.
Okay. Ouch.
And if he's still up, I'm going to whip him.
All right, he's still up.
For a 16.
It hits.
For 9 points of slashing damage.
Fantastic. He is up by a hair.
Hi.
Get it. Get it. I'm funny. Is that your turn, sir?
Okay, so weirdly enough,
okay,
he's within 5 feet of me.
Yes.
Does he get double disadvantage because as a cavalier fighter, I have something called Unwavering Mark.
Okay.
And while I'm within 5 feet of the marked creature, it has disadvantage on any attack roll that doesn't target me. And if the marked creature deals damage to anyone else, I can make a special melee attack on my next turn as a bonus action. But also, I hit him with my first attack as a barbarian, so the bunny boys are on him.
So bunny boys are on him. He has disadvantage on attacking anybody else. But
And he also
because
has an Unwavering Mark.
because you are with it, and that's just a constant thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't
you
stack.
don't.
Oh, it doesn't stack?
Yeah, disadvantage.
There's
doesn't
no such
stack.
thing as double disadvantage. He has disadvantage.
He
Sad
does have
life.
disadvantage, but he can't. He can do nothing about that.
Sad life.
Before he tries to attack you because he doesn't like you, one of the other guys with the poison bow is going to go after. I think he's going to go after Baz. Actually, he's got 2 attacks. He's going to go Baz Racket. Baz has a 15 to hit.
A 15's gonna hit me.
Okay. Racket has a 6.
And this is where Baz melts.
And this
This
is
is
how
fine.
Baz dies.
This is fine.
You're fine. Don't worry. It's only some poison damage.
I'm next to the paladin. This is fine.
All right, cool. That is 6 piercing damage and 6 poison damage. 12 damage total. That's his turn. Other snakehead boy is going to stab bite at bunny boy. He's got disadvantage. No, he doesn't have disadvantage because he started.
It's any other person besides me.
So a 10 isn't going to hit, but a 23 will.
Nope, too high.
Oh, you're right. It is too high. I'm sorry. That's with the bite. For 5 piercing.
Oh, on the first attack, I did attack recklessly, so you roll at advantage.
Oh, okay. It's advantage on all, right?
Yes. Every
What?
attack until the
My next turn.
Yeah.
Okay, so how about a 16 on the first attack?
Just misses.
Does it?
Yeah,
Nice.
just misses.
It was already like a 23 for the second attack. So what did I say? That was 5 piercing damage, right?
Yes.
Is that what I said? And 10 poison damage.
Reckless attack is a lot of fun for the DM when multi-attack gets involved.
These things are kicking yo asses. Tesh.
Fine.
I'm still up.
So there are 3 that are on Wally.
Yes.
Are they within 20 feet of my spiritual weapon?
Yes.
Okay. Spiritual weapon is going to just like, you see it do that like sideways shifting motion that they have in like anime and stuff when they move really fast. And then the shadow is just immediately behind. Is there a Jimmy Snake Hands among the group? Is there?
There is a
Okay.
Jimmy Snake Hands amongst the group.
Don't trust Jimmy Snake Hands. My shadow's going to attack him first.
Okay.
Go, my shadow. That it's 10. So I don't think that's
10
gonna do
doesn't
it.
hit.
No. That's okay. And then there's one that's still next to me, or did that one get shredded?
That one was completely shredded.
Okay, sweet. Can I get up to Wally within 30 feet?
Yes.
Okay, I'll move up to Wally, and I'll attack the one in front of me. I would have gone onto the right-hand side of Wally.
Yeah. So the one on the right hand side is Snake Body Boy.
Okay, attacking a
And
snake body.
He's got Nazareth gripped in his tail.
Okay, so it is at this time that I would like to use the Channel Divinity to give myself the +10 because I wasn't able to before.
Ah, okay.
Aha!
Aha!
Yes, so that puts me at a 19 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay, and then I'll do a level 1 smite on top of that.
Okay.
Smite damage.
Wait, before you do that, what's your minimum damage?
This guy? Was he the one that was hanging on at a?
No, Snakehead is
Yeah.
hanging on by a thread.
I'm not attacking
Ah.
that guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
cool,
who I
cool.
had my shadow try and strike at, but then they are going to take 9 points of piercing damage, followed
Okay.
up with 11 points of radiant damage,
Fantastic. That's 20 points total.
and then I'll attack again.
Oh no.
That'll hit. That's a 24.
Okay.
Okay, and then how's this guy looking? I'm gonna save it. I'm just gonna do a regular attack, and that is for 7 points of piercing.
Okay. He's not looking great, but he's not as bad as Snakehead McGee.
And that's all I can do.
Snake Arms is still up and next to Wally, and he's gonna start what he was already started and going to finish it.
Hit me, I'm buff.
Actually, they've got one. Make a wisdom saving throw, Wally.
Actually, that's my better wisdom stat.
You
15?
You get +2.
Yes,
Oh,
Tesh within 10.
Oh, okay.
+2.
17.
Okay. He hisses in your ear, "Come with us," as he tries to cast suggestion on you, but you save.
Wouldn't I make it at advantage because we're in combat?
Does suggestion at
it's a-
advantage?
Charm effect, isn't it?
I think
It doesn't matter. I passed
Wolf
anyway.
lawyer?
If it doesn't say anything about being hostile or non-hostile, then
Yeah. Okay. I might be thinking about charm person.
we're
Yeah.
friends.
Friends.
Yeah. So the spell ends if one of its companions harms you. Anyway, he's trying to entice you to join the dark side. That's his
my
turn.
secret, Snakey. I've been part of the dark side this entire time.
Racket. He's been, whenever he casts Toll the Dead, has been like hitting his spear, which has like the tuning fork tongs on it, on the back end, and then the front end has a spear tip, and he dings that again, but instead of casting Toll the Dead, casts Spare the Dying at a distance, because he can do that. And that puts that Spare the Dying on Nazrat. And what's the thing about casting 2 spells? You can't.
bonus
one-
action and leveled spell.
One's got to be a cantrip, I believe.
Okay. Spare
If
the
you use a
Dying's
bonus
cantrip,
action as the spell.
but he does not have Healing Word. He only has Cure Wounds. So he's going to soar over into the thick of it, bringing his Spirit Guardians with him, putting all 3 of those guys in his Spirit Guardians, and he's going to cast Cure Wounds on Nazrat. And because he's Circle of Mortality, that gives you the max healing.
Yep. Grave Cleric.
Grave Cleric. So that's what is that? 8. Help.
What level is he casting it at?
At level 1. So
8 plus
14.
whiz.
14 points of healing to you, my friend. He's a champion of the people, and he brings the Spirit Guardians with him. Baz.
Excellent.
Baz is going to take a knee right where he's at, and just kind of snap the arrow where it is at his gut. And he's going to heft his rifle again and line up the sights with somebody who is not looking the roughest, but like the second rough.
The second roughest is the guy that's currently grappling Nazrat.
Has he got something? Nazrat's up now, so
Yeah,
he's got
and
somebody
Tesh is-
adjacent to him.
And Tesh is also within 5 feet.
Oh,
But you do have disadvantage.
That's fine. I'm taking a shot. I'm taking the shot.
Take the shot.
Does a? I believe it's a no. Yes. No. 15 hit.
15 hits.
Haha! Cacao! That's gonna be 11 piercing damage
Oof.
from my rifle. And some sneak attack damage is going to be 6.
Oof. He looks very, very beat up. He also looks pissed because the guy that he has grappled is awake.
Baz is stoic for a moment, and then he just goes, "Heh," and then he's going to roll back and hide.
Cool. You kind of like roll back into a doorway.
Mm-hmm. An 18 to hide.
Cool. You are hidden, my friend. At the top of the round is Nazrat. You are awake. I can breathe again.
Yep.
Fight!
Oh, he's gotten it. He's like, oh, hell. Ah! And all of a sudden, you see a Nazrat's face kind of like a snake unhinging his jaw, except instead of fangs, they're like thorns, and they seem to be dripping acid, and he just goes and bites down on the snake's tail, using
Primal fury.
primal savagery. Yep. And
Fantastic.
I shouldn't have used the stupid dice on the roller. Okay. So I only got a 10. So
10 does not hit.
I see his tail flicks at the last second. I'm like,
just bite at the air.
Yep. Being flung around. Yep. And that's, I think, all I got.
Okay. Well, on this guy's turn, he has to make a wisdom saving throw to not be torn into the deep depths by the spiritual guardians. And he makes a 13, which is not enough. You guys gotta watch out. Racket's gonna kill everybody for you.
I'm okay with that.
Much like before, hands pale and ghostly start grasping out of the ground like zombies raising from the dead, and they're grabbing at this snake-tailed boy and just rip him down to the ground, killing him. Wally.
Who looks torn up? Snakehead or
Snakehead right in front of you is the most torn up.
And then what about Snake Arms McGee?
Snake Arms McGee is actually looking pretty fine.
Cool. Sure. Hatchet into a whip. I'm gonna hatchet Snake Arms McGee.
Okay. Reckless.
I've learned my lesson. 15.
15 hits.
Hey now. 10 points of slashing damage.
10 points of slashing damage. Okay. That hurts.
He's not down?
Not Snake Arms. Snake Head. Or you were hitting Snake Arms, right?
Yeah, I was hitting Snake Arms.
Snake Head is the one that looks really bad.
Cool. And a dirty 20 with the whip.
On?
Snakehead.
Okay. That hits, yeah.
For 8 points of slashing damage.
Cool. How do you kill Snakehead?
I imagine Wally turns and kicks Snake Arms in the gut. And as he does so, he throws the whip and extends, and it just like whoosh, an eyeball goes soaring into the air.
Yes. Fantastic. Anything else on your turn?
He's gonna bounce on his feet and go, bye, and then run away. I'll provoke from the Snake Arms dude.
Snake Arms. He only gets one attack with an opportunity attack, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's an @1.
I'm moving 30 feet away from him.
Cool. Just which direction? Like just straight back, or?
If it's forward, Nazrat. To my left is Snakehead. I'm going to move to the right and away.
Okay, and that'll put you over near where Baz was.
Cool.
That's where you go.
Had it.
Well, he's hidden. You don't have that high with the passive perception to see him.
Ow.
The guy with the bow has just seen most of his companions go down, including his leader. He may be a little tilted, but seeing the tasty-looking flying Aarakocra fly in, he's going to take a shot at him. Twice. Oof, those are both going to hit. I think it was at 28, or not 28, but high enough. For... Oof. 14 piercing and 14 poison. As Racket takes 28 points of damage. And he has to see if he keeps concentration on his spiritual guardians, which he does. That was B's turn. Tesh, it is your turn.
There's still one in front of me?
There is... Snake Arms is slightly adjacent to you.
All right, I'll stab him. Make it
Okay.
real simple. That is a 13 to hit.
13 to hit will hit.
Oh, neat.
Oh, sorry. Before it's your turn, the guy that just shot Racket, he is going to start leaving. He
Okay.
was 30 feet out into the thoroughfare.
Gotcha. Okay, so that's 11 damage.
11 damage.
And then still up?
Ouchie. He is still up.
Okay, second attack. That's another natural one. What is happening?
Oof.
I feel sorry for you guys tomorrow night, because if I'm rolling like trash now... Hoo-wee! Yep. And then Tesh's Shadow will approach this dude and make a Dragon's Claw attack.
Yeah, your shadow was already behind him.
Yep. That is a 24 to hit.
Yeah.
4 points of force damage.
Ouch. Anything else in your turn, sir?
This guy went 30 feet away.
Yes. The other snake-headed guy who had a bow, it's been just unloading on you guys, is running away.
Okay.
He was already 10 feet away from you when he started, or actually he was 20 feet away from you when he started to leave.
Gotcha. Fuck it. Tesh will try and run away, like, towards that guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Provoking opportunity attack from Snake Arms.
Yes, but didn't Snake Arms try and make an attack of opportunity?
He already did take
against
an
Wally?
opportunity attack, so he can't.
Yep. So Tesh is just going to move 30 feet towards the dude who's trying to leave.
Okay.
And then leave his shadow there to deal with Snake Arms.
That means that Snake Arms has Nazrat still next to him, and you just move your 30 feet.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's it.
So Snake Arms is not going to go for Nazrat. He is not going to disengage. He is going to use his action to turn into a snake, and he's going to slither into the ruins. Getting an opportunity attack from Nazrat.
So, can I use Primal Savagery on
Not unless you have
That's a
Warcaster.
Yeah,
not
it
unless
has to
I
be an
have.
opportunity attack.
Okay.
Melee.
What do I got then? All right. I guess Great Club.
Hit him.
9 plus 6 is 15.
Yep, that'll hit.
All right. And 6 plus 3, 9 points of damage.
You bring your great club down on this medium-sized snake as it tries to slither away. You probably like crush a few vertebrae in its tail as it tries to slither into the ruins. Racket. Ow. Oof. Owie. I just got shot. Help. Is going to cast Cure Wounds on himself. for that 14 points of healing. And Baz, you are hidden. There is one guy slithering away. You can still see him, but you'd have to move from your position to see the guy that is actually running away that Tesh is chasing.
Right. So Arms is now a snake and he's slithering away.
Yes.
And Snakehead is running with Tesh in pursuit.
Yes.
Is Leader Legs dead?
Leader No Legs is dead.
Okay, cool. That's good. I missed that. Yeah, I'm gonna try and shoot the slithery snaky boy.
Okay.
I'm gonna peek out through a window and poke out a rifle, and yeah, I attack you. A 19 to hit.
19 to hit will hit. I forgot to say at the start of Snake Hands, now Snake Boy, he failed his saving throw against the Spirit Guardians and took a lot of damage.
Oh,
anyway,
that's
go
nice.
ahead, roll your damage.
I don't have advantage on this. He's not
5 feet.
adjacent to anybody. So this is going to be 10 piercing damage from
That
the rifle.
is exactly lethal.
Nice.
You scope in on him and right through the back of his slithery snake head, and he goes limp on the ground.
All right. Do rifles expel shells?
Yeah, I mean it's got bullet casings in it, so like you just and the shell comes out.
So he expels that shell as he moves to the next window and rolls another stealth.
Do it.
Not as great, but still not terrible. 11.
Okay. Did you roll a 2?
Yep.
Not great, she says, rolling a 2.
I've got enough stealth to make up for it. It's
You are still
fine.
hidden.
He stumbles to the next window holding his wound.
You like break some glass or something.
That shell expended, but it went right down a set of stairs. Ting, ting, ting,
Yeah.
ting, ting, ting.
Into the basement.
Leading directly back to him.
At the top of the round, Nazret. One enemy remaining, and he is running.
Oh, so you did kill the one that was slithering away.
Yep. Shot right through the back of the head.
And the other guy is, at this point, he is 40 feet away from me.
He is 50 feet away from you. And
50 feet
actually,
away from me.
from your vantage point, you can't even see where he is. You can just see Tesh as he's about to go around the corner of the wall.
Okay. God, I just got nothing. So do I think if I move my 30, I'd be able to see the guy running?
Yes.
Okay. I will do that and huck my boomerang at him.
All right.
Good thing it's a boomerang. I wait for it to come back.
What'd you roll?
3. So that's a 9 altogether.
You come around the corner and see this guy like scrambling up onto that big thoroughfare, and you just whip it, and it goes right over his head and starts going all the way back.
Just stand there looking disappointed.
Wally, you're just standing next to a window, and a bullet suddenly burst out of it and killed a snake. They are about 60 feet from you. But you can still see him, or you cannot see him from your vantage point.
Wally takes a 3-point runner stance, and as the bullet hits the last casing, boom! 40 feet of movement around the corner. Does he see the guy?
Yep.
He's going to huck his hand axe at him.
All right, Patriot.
16.
I am going to say 16 hits. I am going to say this will be the first attack that hits this guy.
Nice.
16 does hit. Go ahead, roll damage.
8 points of slashing.
All right.
And the bunnies descend upon him.
He's got bunnies. These, like terrifying little creatures. It is this guy's turn. He is going to let's see. He's going to turn into a snake. And keep using his movement to get over the thoroughfare about 30 feet away from where he was before. Your hand axe drops to the ground where he changed amongst the foliage. That is his turn. Tesh, you had just gotten to the corner, so you were 20 feet from him. He is now 50 feet from you and starting to get into the vegetation that is covering this entire area as a snake.
You need, buddy.
Thank you. We're professionals here. Tesh will make a full round action to move.
Okay.
Get up to the snake. And then he'll steadily be moving his shadow because the shadow can only move in 20-foot intervals.
Does your shadow do like the blur thing and shoot forward?
Yep.
Blur thing and move forward.
Oh, yeah.
Terrifying. Cool. That is what you do. You move up to next to him, right?
Yep.
You guys are like kind of on the far edge of this, or like in the middle of this big thoroughfare. He is a snake. You are a man. You are alone.
Could I make it any more obvious?
Racket healed himself. He is not going to go chasing. Nazrat looks the worst. But I don't think he wants to spend his spell slot. So he's only going to fly up next to Nazrat at like kind of this opening to the courtyard and ready to attack with his spear in case anybody comes up. Baz. They are now. Let's see, what is that? It's like 90 feet away from you.
Could I get to the roof again,
Okay.
so I can get a better vantage point?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. You're able to use your movement just to get up onto the roof since you have to use half movement to climb.
Still
Or
hidden?
double movement. Yeah, actually. Well, yes.
All right, I'm gonna line up one more shot. I'm getting good at shooting snakes. 13.
That hits. Tesh
And
is within
there's
5
somebody.
feet.
There's somebody adjacent.
Yep.
Amazing. Where'd the other D8 go? I'll find it later. Let's see. I knew that was going to be a bad idea. 12 piercing damage. And
Ouch.
11 sneak attack.
Ouch. This guy's trying, but you guys aren't making it easy.
One more and I'm going to have to reload.
What happened?
I will duck down and hide.
Okay.
24.
24 is very good, and you are hidden from everybody. Nazrat, it is the top of the round. In fact, I'm going to say because you are a halfling, you actually lost sight of them as they're up on the thoroughfare and 50 feet away. Actually,
Right.
60 feet away from you.
So all I can see is the Aarakocra,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess I'll talk to him in his head, and I'll be like, "Shall we hold our ground here?"
That is so weird for Racket. That he can hear you in his head.
And he can talk back.
Yeah, he's like, what? And
He's looking. The halfling's looking up at him
it's like
with his hands on his
"What?"
hips.
I guess. What? He's a little blown away. But yes, you hold ground here.
All right, I got my great club ready.
Cool. Wally,
Can I still see the snake, or do I have to move a little bit more?
you'd have to get up onto the thoroughfare to see him, but since you have 40 feet of movement, you can.
He's going to drop his whip and with his action go for his back gun.
Okay.
And there
Just going
is
through all of your weapons in one encounter.
I need to. That's what I do.
That's fantastic.
He spots Tesh and he spots the snake, and he'll drop his rage.
Okay.
The bunnies disappear, and he's going to go into a quick draw stance. And then he'll pull out a gun with a brilliant flash of light and fan it 6 times
Okay.
and deal 29 damage force.
All right. Well, is this your? Is this a? Go ahead. Go ahead and tell me
What
what
the
this
fuck is this?
Go ahead. Tell me what it is.
There is a guitar riff on the wind
Dun, dun, dun,
and
dun.
a hawk cry.
dun.
It's the
As
pistol. Theodore Guado.
ding 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 ding. 6 bullets fire out from it and arc upwards and around Tesh and just strike down.
It takes no bullets and it never misses. 29 force damage, eh?
Legendary pistol of Theodore Guado.
Theodore Guado. How do you kill him? That's just it.
It's just bludgeoning the snake on the ground, and when it's finished,
The snake had turned around and was rearing back to attack
strike at
Tesh, and it had like clouded vision as these bunnies roll over it, and the bunnies like disappear, and it thinks it's got Tesh now. It's got Tesh in its grasp, and these golden beams of bullets, lights, just start piercing through him a ton of times, and he, much like the symbol of Dendar, the night serpent, wrapped around with its mouth open to consume the world, its mouth wide open, and collapses to the ground.
Wally will bring the pistol tip to his lips and shooting fish in a barrel.
And you guys are out of combat.
I'm sorry, what just happened? And Tesh like looks towards you, looks towards Nazrat. Not bad, the both of you.
Thanks.
It's no wonder you've both survived so long in this god's awful place.
I mean, Nazrat did most of the heavy lifting. I'm sorry, Mr. Nazrat did the heavy lifting.
Nazrat. Just Nazrat.
As you guys are saying this, timidly from behind Nazrat and Racket, Orvex is shuffling up. He's like, "Are they gone? Are they gone, Shun?" You're like surveying the battlefield.
Yes, we've dealt with these 5 most handedly. What? Is this common? Actually, wait, no, I get it now.
I believe we're in Omu, Mr. Teshvael.
The snakes aren't snakes. Right? Isn't that what it said?
There's a thump as Baz touches down behind the group, and clinking as he's reloading his rifle.
Yes, the warranty of this city, they're crawling over the place. I thought we were well guarded here in this courtyard, but they attacked last night. Took the Red Wizards out so handedly, I'm surprised you were able to fight back.
Is anyone injured? Is anyone hurt?
Wally raises a hand.
Raises his hand.
Tesh will go to Racket first.
Oh, buddy.
On a scale of...
On a scale of 1 to 35, he's about a 21.
Okay, I'll give him 10.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
And then,
Thank you.
does Baz look injured?
Oh, very.
He's at like half health.
He's still got like half an arrow sticking out of him, and the blood stain just keeps on spreading. But he just kind of like pulls his coat over it.
Tesh will go up to Baz and ask, scar or no scar?
Doesn't matter.
Scar it is. And Tesh will grip the arrow, pull it out, and then just lay on hands. But enough so that way it's not like fully healed over. It does just leave like a scar of where you got shot with an arrow.
He barely flinches.
Give you
He's
10.
got a few of those. Actually, Rocket, feeling a lot better now with that. That healing is going to cast Cure Wounds. Which Nazrat or Wally? Which one of you looks worse?
Probably Nazrat. He went down.
I'm bloodied. I'm way under half.
All
Well,
right, he is going to give you another
solidly
healing
under
Cure
half.
Wounds.
I'll give Wally 10. I'll give Wally my last 10.
11 more for Nazrat.
Cool.
Actually, no, he's going to cast it at 2nd level.
And if anybody had any disease
18.
or poison affecting them,
18.
Baz, that longbow that the big guy was carrying, the sparkle catches your eye.
Sorry, I was worried that you said that to me after he mentioned poison. I was like, okay, here it comes. Yeah, Baz is just going to walk up to it and investigate it.
It is a very intricately designed bow. Hold on, let me. It is a longbow that is painted and carved like a serpent with a tiny amber gemstone for eyes. It looks quite valuable, but it also feels magical.
He's gonna kind of examine it, and then slide it with the rest of his weapons. I'll give that a better look at when we're in less danger.
We should find a place to bunker down while we heal ourselves up.
I'll stand guard wherever we are. I'm honestly feeling fine. Took no damage. Nobody even tried to attack me the whole encounter.
You stayed in the back until the very end.
I tried to catch up to a dinosaur and no goddamn jackalope man.
Poor thing.
Baz walks up to you. He's got the long bow over his arm. He just gives you a look up and down and says, "They didn't even touch you, did they?
They didn't even bother trying to attack me.
Good job."
Well, thank you. We should get that looked at, and he's pointing at the bow as you're walking off with it.
Wally's collecting his various weaponry.
Yeah. You wouldn't happen to have any of that healing for a frail old man that's taken a bit of a beating as well?
I'll give him a
Would you
cure.
say?
I'll use my last spell slot to cure wounds him.
Oh, thank you.
He gets the minimum of 3.
That's
Less.
fine.
It wasn't out of pity, I swear.
That's fine. Any little bit helps.
I like the idea.
Exactly. Who are you?
Oh, right. I didn't even really get a chance to introduce myself. Ovex Ukramus, professor of history. I came to this city with the Red Wizards in search of the lost tomb, the tomb of the 9 trickster gods. They're quite interested in it, but I'm just interested in its historical significance. There's said to be untold treasures in there.
I'm Eustace. My friends call me Baz.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, Eustace.
We'll shake his hand. Do you know anything about this place?
Oh, so much about this place. I've been studying the ancient Omuans for years, ever since I learned about this forbidden city. In fact, I don't mean to brag, but I've been able to translate all of their texts, and I have done my fair share in studying the legend behind this place.
Baz turns around, raises his eyebrows. He knows everything about the Forbidden City.
So you're telling me you can translate Olman?
Of course.
You have just become an incredibly valuable ally.
Are you planning on exploring the city? Are you going to go to the shrines? Please, let me come with you.
If we must visit the shrines, then so be it. You are more than welcome to join us.
Have you heard of the legend of the 9 trickster gods?
I have not, personally.
It's a fantastic tale. You see, hundreds of years ago, Omu, this city, the shining jewel of Chult, it was famed all around the world, and then it fell into disrepair. Allegedly, the god Opteo abandoned the people of Omu, and as the legend goes, the god Opteo hardened his heart and vowed to weep for the people of Omu. He brings out a book that he has written, because he's a professional. Long ago, the god Opteo hardened his heart and vowed to weep for the people of Omu no longer. The rain stopped, the jungle withered and died, and death swept through Omu. One morning, a wise Zorbo emerged from a hollow tree and spoke to the dying Omuans. To convince Opteo of their worth, she decided to cook him a stew made from all their good qualities. Catching such virtues wouldn't be so easy, so she asked a wily Almiraj to help her. The Almiraj snuck recklessness into the pot, which she saw as a virtue, and Opteo spat out the stew when he tasted it. From that day on, Obulaka, the Zorbo, and Ijan, the Almiraj, became terrible enemies. At noon, a brave Kamadan hopped down from her rock. She saw the evil in the Omuan's heart and decided to launch it like a troublesome boil. The Kamadan fashioned a holy spear, but she left it by the river's bank, and a crafty grung sold it. In her rage, Shigambi, the Kamadan, forgot all about the Omuans and chased Nang Nang, the grung, forever across the sky. When evening came, a wily Ebli stepped from his reed hut. He didn't like the Omuans, but without them, he'd have no one to play his tricks on. The Ebli sent a marsh frog to reason with Opteo, but the frog was angry and decided to wrestle the god instead. This amused Opteo, so he gave the frog tentacles to make him stronger. When Kabazan, the frog Hemoth, returned to Papazotl, the Ebli's house, reed hut, he chased Papazotl into the swamp with his new tentacles. That night, a shoe monster broke into Opteo's palace and stole a pail of water from the Omuans. When the god came running to find it, the shoe monster hid the pail in a Jaculi's barrow. Opteo asked the jungle animals where his water was hidden, and Moa, the Jaculi, was too honest to lie. When Wango, the Sioux monster, found out how Moa had betrayed him, he vowed to catch the Jaculi and eat him up. Jaculi. I'm not done, Shun. Hold on.
There's a small trickle of blood down Wally's nose.
All the while, Unk, the flail snail, lived deep under the earth. The noise of the other animals fighting made him slither up to the surface, and when day dawned over his shell, the light blinded Opteo and made his eyes water. Life returned to Omu, and the people built shrines to honor the animals who saved them. It's a fanciful story, but the shrines exist. They're scattered throughout the city. And Yes?
That was a lot. Do you have like a Spark Notes version for us common folk?
Oh, certainly, son. Anyone can learn history.
What's
The
a
legend
Zorbo?
is... I'm sorry?
What's a
Zorbo?
Jaculi?
Well, there's plenty of different creatures that live in Chult. I'm sure you've run into many of them.
I mean, that was a lot of names and a lot of things that we're not familiar with. The
All
gist
the
was
better to bring our dear friend with us. So if we have any questions, we could just ask him.
The fact remains that to get into the tomb of these nine trickster gods, where they were buried after they were murdered at some point by
What?
oh, I've so much to tell you.
Mr. Nazareth, what's a frog-liath?
A frog-hemoth.
Frog. Is that a stage up from a frog-liath, or?
Certainly. Massive creature. Giant frog. Tentacles out of its back.
Do I even want to know what a flail snail is?
It's a snail that has big meaty eyeballs that it uses to whack people with.
It
Don't know what I was
strikes
expecting.
people with its own eyes?
I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I have to look it back up. You haven't run into one yet.
Omu's a weird place. Let's not go there.
It is a silly place. Regardless, to get into the tomb of the 9 trickster gods, you need to collect the puzzle cubes. You have to raid their shrines, and that will gain you access to the tomb.
The puzzle cubes are the key. That's what the graffiti said back there.
Yes, the puzzle cubes are the key.
Well, when do we get to the pieces of the monkey so we can get through the hidden temple?
Well, you can go to Wango's shrine if you're talking about monkeys.
We're not trying to find a temple, Wally. We're trying to find a tomb. Or this Raznasi fellow.
We've already found it. We've already taken on the Temple Guardian, so we're gonna be fine.
I think this is more of a tomorrow affair. There's some wires that are crossed up here, and I need to information dump.
And as you mentioned it, I am quite beaten up as well. I'm going to need some rest. But please, I want to come with you.
Baz is going to try and find a safe place to make camp for tonight.
Okay, where would you like to make camp?
Didn't we just
probably-
wake up?
Like maybe an
it
abandoned
is not
building?
even midday.
You know, for
Mr. I'm out of spell slots.
I'm fine without spell slots, he said like a liar, but like...
I'm pretty sure you're almost out of lay on hands. You're the only thing keeping my boy on his feet, buddy.
if we head up to the thoroughfare, I'm pretty sure we can get a good view of the city. Might spot a house.
I wouldn't be up there. You'll be seen by anything.
True.
Not that I can shame much health, considering we thought we were safe here.
Very little sees me, and nothing sees me when I'm invisible.
When I was up on the thoroughfare, did I see this fucking lava pit?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, you did. There is a great giant rift in the city filled with lava.
As you do.
Yeah. So how would you guys like to proceed? Mechanically, Orbex is suffering from 3 levels of exhaustion
Cool.
Buddy.
and has 7 hit points.
Bless.
Buddy.
We should make camp. And then... Baz, I still have the ability to make someone disappear for an hour. If you wanted to try and find RinRin, or Hassan, or Azaka,
You shouldn't be heading out. You shouldn't be heading out alone by yourself. That's out there by yourself.
I do just fine on my own. If I'm not picking any fights, that is.
I
And
was about to
trust me,
say.
I'm not.
Well, as long as you say so. So I can't country anymore. I'm tired.
I'm too tired of country.
I'm too tired to country.
I gotta admit, it's getting hard to
It's
Aussie
getting hard to
between
underdog.
the two of you, between Sean Connery and
What are you
Billy
talking
the
about?
Kid
My
over
name's
here.
Orvex, not Sean Connery.
Orvex Connery.
I've been
Oh,
hunting an
that's
airship called the Red October.
That
I'm
being
Egyptian.
That being said, I
Exactly.
think we are at a decent stopping point, even though we still have time today.
Yeah.
So let's discuss how we want to proceed into the following day.
I reckon we make camp. Baz gets a power up from Tesh. Smack him on the ass. Go get him, go get him, big guy. And Baz is just going to scan the perimeter and make sure everything's safe.
Okay. Yeah. Roll your stealth.
With advantage because invisible.
Advantage because you're invisible.
Yay!
Ooh, can you do invisible and pass without trace?
Oh, certainly.
Yeah.
Let's do
He's
that.
already used his past. Oh shit!
I have it, and I have
Oh,
a,
yeah, that's
I
right,
have
you
I have
got it.
spell
You
slots
would,
left.
You would have to be within
10 feet.
10 feet.
10 feet of you.
10 feet the
So-
whole time. But he is a
Ye-
halfling.
He is a halfling. Do you
Yeah.
want to come with? You want to go with?
Sure.
Let's go down to the water.
Let's do it.
Let's
Let's go down to the creek and put our feet in the water. You want to go with?
Shrugs. Like, all right, I guess.
I mean, roll your thing at advantage. See if you need to bring the pass without a trace with you.
Well,
do that.
I got a 26.
I don't think you need to bring the pass without a trace with you.
Okay.
I'll do pass without a trace then on us at the camp.
So
That's
that
a good idea.
You guys at the camp are hidden. If anything were to come up.
What's your pass without a trace look like?
I talk to the jungle.
Aw.
I basically like,
Hey guys, we need to be hidden for a while. Keep everybody away from us.
and the vines kind of grow and move, and the leaves sprout or turn towards the sun so that they block us.
Nice. So the rest of you kind of set up a small camp. Racket goes digging in his bag of holding and brings out the alchemical jug that's leaking poison and stoppers that up. And he gets the water and helps out. He takes care of Orvex, who is thirsty and dying.
Hassan's books are in the bag.
Aw. Which books?
The medical
journal?
journal and the other one.
Oh no.
Oh,
But
no.
does Racket know that they're in there?
No.
So he won't know to grab for them.
But other people who know that that Hassan put them in there.
Other people who care about Hassan will know that he put them in there.
We'll burn that bridge when we get to it.
Other people who are going to be mourning his recent death.
His definite death that he died. Baz, where are you looking? How far are you planning on getting away?
Well, it depends on where we make camp. Are we basically setting up in an abandoned building?
Yeah, like just a building within this compound, I think.
Sure. Baz is not going to get out of earshot of his buddies.
Okay.
He's gonna go about as far as he dares. But he's going to do a pretty thorough check of just a general radius from the camp.
Okay. I'll also say you kind of clamber up onto the thoroughfare and just scan the city, because from that vantage point you can see a lot, and see a lot you do. It is lush with life. There are birds flying around. There's a lot of movement in underbrush all around. The river way off in the distance is teeming with life, and even it pouring into that giant chasm to the east is sending steam and mist into the air. A lot of buildings look ruined, dilapidated, but you can spy a few buildings that look different from the rest. They look more ceremonial. And you think that these might be the shrines, the closest of which is directly behind the compound that you guys are at, and another one lies to the east of this thoroughfare by the ledge, and out on a pillar standing amongst that crater is another building that looks significant. But you also see something that catches your eyes that you find that sends a chill down your spine. because way off to the north on the far end of this thoroughfare, you feel it first, kind of a shaking in the ground, a thud, 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 and you look up that way and you see a bunch of very brightly colored feathers moving through the vegetation. It is a very large creature, whatever it is. It is moving fast. It is very brightly colored, and you blink and it's gone.
It's fine. It's fine. That's fine. That's fine. It's not fine.
And that's what we'll call it for today.
Yay! Thank you, Tyler, for running this wonderful game. I am sussed about the big massive feathers moving through the jungle, but I'm sure that
All hail
it's...
the King of Feathers.
All hail the King of Feathers. Speaking of the King of Feathers, who plays our local Aarakocra? Tyler, where can we find you? What do you do?
Hi, my name is Tyler, also known as @FrothyInferno on Twitter. You can find me there, and here on Sundays running the Tomb of Annihilation.
Excellent. And RJ, where can we find you? What do you do?
Hey everybody, I'm RJ on the interwebs, so you can catch me at RJustice282 on Twitter and Twitch, where I tweet about the nerdy things in my life and sometimes stream. You can catch me here on Sundays and on Sundays as Wally, the barbarian fighter shifter, and on Mondays in our homebrew campaign as Calum, the Shatterkai wizard cleric. This week I'm not doing anything in particular, but I will be tweeting if anything happens.
Excellent. And GB. Can't hear you. It's picking up on Zoom, but nothing was coming through. There you go.
Hey, all right. I just wasn't loud enough. All right, Graybeard's Tavern. Check my Twitter, Graybeard Tavern, for a lot of political ranting and raving and COVID information. Other than that, find my schedule there and catch us Wednesday right back here at 8:30 for Monster Noir. Other than that, check my Twitter. It's all good.
Hi, everybody. I'm Danae Keener. You can find me at DanaeKeener.com. I do nerdy drawings mostly related to D&D and a lot of things on this channel. I play as Coriander the Elegant Paladin during our Four Keeps game, which is a homebrew game on Mondays. And on Sundays right here, I play as Baz the Drow Rogue Fighter in our Tomb of Annihilation game. And you can go to @DanaeKeener to see the streaming schedule that I just described to you. DanaeKeener.com.
And if you've made it this far, you probably already know who I am. But if you don't, hey Acorns, what's up? It's me, your buddy, your pal, your friend, the Indoor Adventurer, the showrunner here at twitch.tv/Indoor Adventures. We do shows like this Monday and Thursday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, or on Sundays at 7 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And as GB already mentioned, this week you can tune in to Wednesday for our Monster Noir game at 5:30, where GB runs it, Danae's in the game, Satan's in the game, and our dear friend Alyssa Vamp and Koss are both in the game as well. I describe Satan and Alyssa Vamp differently because someone has a book and won't stop talking to the devil. Danae. But if this is your first time joining us, consider going to check out all of our VODs at youtube.com/indooradventures, or go towards anywhere audiocasts are made available for free. And right now, speaking of free, we are going into our after show called Nights in the Courtyard, currently hosted at patreon.com/indooradventures, where we answer questions not only from the community, but also from each other. So if you have any questions for myself or any of these fine folk, that is the best place to try and figure out the answer. But we are going to be heading out for the evening, but before we go, I would like to say again, thank you to Tyler for running this wonderful game. Thank you to these players for putting up with our bullshit once again this week. And we'll see all of you guys next time. All right, everybody. Bye-bye!